Hello and welcome back to the Lime Tree Sessions podcast with me, Jack Milcrease.
Lyndon Philliskirk.
Scott Charlton.
I think you say Geordie words, but your RP is like very English.
I sound like someone else who's
sound like
pretend to be Geordie.
You sound like Sting. Where's your Brian Johnson? You're like, wait, pet now, it's Leighton. We're back in the parallel universe that is Lyndon's new rearranged studio.
Yes, we've had a bit of a shift around. So we're mirrored now, I think. Will it be mirrored?
Yeah, you're totally right. We're on the wrong side.
Yes, on the wrong side.
I didn't even think of that.
No, I just thought now, because if we're so used to turning our heads that way.
Oh my God, oh yeah. Should we restart? I'm uncomfortable already.
Change seats. No, this is the new one. New year, new us.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year.
I waved at the webcam there, not the GoPro.
So
Happy
many
New Year, everyone.
cameras.
Did everyone have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
it was nice.
Yeah.
Quiet, but it's the way I like it nowadays.
Just how I like it.
No, yeah. Because the last podcast came out 2 days before Christmas, and then we had our Christmas cover. I couldn't think of the word there.
Yes.
Of Do They Know It's Christmas, with a smattering of
Yes.
excellent guests from the Northeast and beyond. And then we had Christmas, which was quiet. And then here we are now. Just a little wrap up of
Just
the
after
time
New
between.
Year.
Yes, it is January the 2nd, but this will probably come out on Friday, which will be January the whatever. So yeah, good Christmas had by all. But it doesn't stop with gigging. So,
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
As
It
always,
very much doesn't.
as always, how were gigs this weekend?
Gigs were great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because is it fairly well known that musicians, like, New Year is like the big gigs?
Yeah, I
Do
think
you know what
so.
I mean?
It's
like,
the one.
Although some people think like, "Oh, you're gigging on New Year." It's like they think that it's sort of you should be out partying as well as opposed to working.
yeah.
Doesn't work like that.
No,
It's kind of like the
Busiest
total
time of the
opposite.
year.
Yeah, it's the best paying gigs
it
of
is
the
the
year.
best-
It is the
like,
best
let's
paying
call
gigs
a
of the
spade a spade. So yeah, what were you gigging New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, or
and Friday as well.
on Friday as well?
Yeah, we were in
Yeah.
Sunderland on Friday
Yes.
at Millview Social Club, the one that you.
Oh
came
yeah,
to.
I like Millview.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a good.
Nice
club,
load in.
Yeah.
Yep.
We love a good load in, but no, it was a good gig.
Aye, it was.
Just simple.
Yeah.
The compare made it easier by
He
saying
did,
you
yeah.
can't do more than 2 encores. Like, yep, good with
Smashing.
us.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
That works with us. So yeah, that was easy. Then Saturday we were in Harrogate.
Nice.
We were supposed to be in Middlesbrough, but
Yes.
well, gig got changed for the better.
Okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to be at the Priory in Middlesbrough.
All right.
And then we ended up in some Cedar Hotel in Harrogate.
Right.
And it was one of the poshest places I think
Oh,
we've
God.
ever been. Everyone was in like
A lot of money in
tuxedos
that
and-
room.
Yeah.
A lot of money in that
But
room.
And that
ties.
was that for New Year? New Year's
Yeah,
Eve?
New
Yes.
Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And we didn't even see the New Year in.
We didn't.
What time did you play?
Started
till?
at 9, finished at 10:10.
That's mint. That is actually
We were
class.
home. We saw the New Year in the van, and then we were home about 10, 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
So you played for an hour and 10 minutes?
We
70
did.
minutes, yeah.
Bloody hell.
It was great.
Wow,
Everyone was
that's
saying
mint.
like,
We'll
oh,
go
we
back
should-
there.
And I was saying if they want me back next year, happily.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
great gig.
It was mint. They were all saying like, can you do a bit more sort of?
All the guests were coming up and saying they wanted
Because
us
if
to do
you
longer.
think about it, it's 2 hours after we'd finished before New Year comes in, so
Yeah.
all it is just a DJ for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw a few people who were like, you know, the entertainment from, like you say, maybe 8 till 10, and then it was a DJ or whatever.
Yeah,
Which I guess is probably good for the artist.
it is.
It's,
is.
You know, it's a bit easier.
We've never packed up and left somewhere so quickly before we
It must
realised there
be
was a
the quickest
mistake or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we go,
yeah.
Hold on, you've got to do it again.
Oh, we're packed up now.
Yeah,
Oh!
well, let's go, run away.
It was one of the most hectic pack downs there's ever been, though.
It
'Cause
was.
everyone was up dancing with the DJ starting straight after we'd finished.
Yeah.
It was pretty hectic, but no,
Nice
it was
one.
it.
And we struggled to get out the car park.
I
They had,
did.
everywhere was height restricted around the whole building.
Right.
And they had like one electric gate at the back that opened, and no one was answering the intercom when we were trying to escape, basically. And no one was answering the intercom. So Calvin had to go get the chef.
Nice.
Right.
So the chef came and let us out. As
Oh,
usual.
eh?
It
At least
was
the gig
good.
was good. And then
Yeah, it was good.
And then New Year's Day.
So yesterday we were in Forest Hall.
Forest Hall Cons
Nice.
Club, yeah.
Yes, which is good.
It's always a good one there.
Sold
good.
out,
It's-
packed. It was great.
It's one of the smallest stages I've played, but it
Yeah.
makes up for the atmosphere.
Mint.
Honestly, we got there. Normally, it's clear the stage, and it's a tight squeeze anyway. We got there, and there was a Christmas tree, and I was like, "That's gotta go." Unfortunately, it's like Christmas is over. The tree's gotta go.
Yeah, yeah. No more Christmas songs.
No more Christmas. But no, it's good.
It was a good day, yeah.
It was good. Again, hectic pack down as they started the bingo just as
Oh,
we'd
God, aye.
finished.
Right.
So we tried to pack away really quietly. But no, it's good. Enjoyed
Very
it.
good.
What
Very
about you,
good.
Jack?
Yourself?
So I was gigging New Year's Eve, but then I'll just count this because it's been a week, or 2 weeks since we've done the podcast. Probably, I don't know. I was gigging on Boxing Day with the Houndcats. It's Stack.
Hello, Jack.
Seaburn. Hello, Jack. I was waiting for that. I was going to
Has to be
introduce it.
done.
I
Was that
gonna-
the last time we saw each other? Was it the Stack?
Was it the Stack when they played
Yeah.
when I wasn't there?
Yeah.
But then the week after on Boxing Day,
Yes, you were
I
there
was playing
again.
with- But that was the last
Aye.
time I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like a good gig, like.
Oh, it was mint. Like, I absolutely loved playing with them. And it was really nice as well because Sophie came to watch and both our mums and dads came to watch as well. So that was
Oh,
really
lovely.
nice. And it was just a good laugh. Like, I tested out my new fingerless gloves that I got for Christmas
What, while you were
Did
playing?
you?
while I was playing, yeah.
Was it easy enough?
I took them off by song 2.
Ah.
Like, I think if I was playing solo acoustic, it probably would have been fine. But doing all the...
I was going to say, any barcodes, how does that work?
like, it kind of...
Because I get it.
This
you,
is...
you have to cut the whole finger off that
Aye.
one.
Right
It's
down at the
it's
bottom.
kind of
then-
all, it was all right because it's a good job we've got visual representation here. So if you're listening to this, sorry, but if you're watching this, it kind of went down to about here. So it was kind of like all right to play chords
Yeah.
and some widdly stuff. Excuse me. But when it came at like the second song, and the second song was oh man, it was a Chuck Berry number.
Don't it be good?
No, I can't remember what it was called. Not Run Run Rudolph, the other one.
Do run.
No, they all
Chuck
sound the
Berry.
same. It's a fast blues number by Chuck Berry. I can't remember what
That's
it's called.
every
I
Chuck
know,
Berry
I
song
know,
ever, Jack.
I know. I can't remember what it was. I'm not going to find out. But anyway, and I was like, I need to take these gloves off, right? So like halfway, like Jack starts the song with the and all that kind of stuff, and then I was like whipping my gloves off and chucking them across the stage while like before. We
Oh,
came
is it
into-
Did they do it when we went to go and see?
Yeah, it's the
When
second
Billy was
song. Yeah.
Is it gonna mail it to my local DJ?
Yeah,
Yes.
that one, aye.
What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Roll over Beethoven.
Roll
That's
Over
the
Beethoven,
one.
that's the
Yes.
one,
God, that would have killed me if I didn't find that out. But yes. So at the start, because we finished.
You can't really play that with gloves, can you?
Nah. So and they're nice gloves as well. Like so, I think what I'm trying to say is, if I was playing solo acoustic at the Stack, which obviously is cold this time of year because it's technically outdoors,
Aye.
it would be great for that and I'd have no problem. But when you're like,
Faster stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
was.
couldn't.
I needed to take them off. So, but it was mint. Good laugh as always. Lovely lads. And yeah, it was absolutely class. And then New Year's Eve, I wasn't meant to be gigging New Year's Eve, but a friend of mine, Ellie from college. Hi, Ellie. She messaged us like 2 days before saying, I've got a gig that I need covered.
Oh, was
if
that
you,
the
yeah,
club eye that you've
it was
messaged
the
about?
Rafa Club in Stanley. And I'd never been to it before, had no idea where it was, but it was like 10 minutes from my house. So I was like,
That's a good one for New Year.
mint. And I was a bit nervous because I even said, I was like, I don't use track. Ellie, because Ellie uses track, and I was like, I don't use track. I play acoustic. Is that all right? And she checked, and she went, yeah, that's fine. So already I was like, all right, okay, this could go either way. Do you know what? It was the best gig I've done all year. It was
Yeah.
actually lush. Like, it was like a room, just a room full of like maybe 30 people, all lovely, really respectful, and I asked the concert chairman before I went on, I was like, what kind of stuff do they like? And he was like, do you do any 60s? I was like, yes, I do. I basically
How
did.
funny.
I basically did the Houndcat set list.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, and it
Get
went down great. Long gap in the middle, must say. I waited.
That's clubs for you,
Yeah,
yeah.
that I
Club life, eh?
wasn't used to that. Have to admit, it was like an hour and a half
Yes.
on my own. So that was not ideal, but again, it's the crack, I suppose.
We passed the time with Wordle,
Would do, yeah.
I haven't played Wordle in
And
ages.
Hurdle
Hurdle,
and Wordle.
Wordle. Oh yeah.
What's Wordle?
You
Is that
get like an
geography?
outline of a country, and it tells you how close it is to other countries.
Right.
And you
I've
gotta-
played Hurdle,
Yeah.
but I haven't played
Wordle's
And
a
then
guy.
there's Frazzle as well,
Frazzle's a good one.
which is you have to
It's a
guess
well-known
the
phrase.
All right.
Yeah,
That's how rock and roll
I
is.
was going to say copious amounts of Wordle.
Yeah.
There's the title.
Yes.
But yeah, it was great. And then we, played up until midnight. Put all anxiety on my phone. Everyone got round the
Aye.
middle and joined hands, and that was it. It was great. I absolutely loved it. And to be honest, it's something I'm probably going to look into if there's like a market for acoustic club
In
type
clubs.
stuff.
Was it a big club? Like, was it a concert room, or was it more like the lounge sort of?
Oh, it was it
size?
was technically the concert room, but it was like lounge
Right.
size, if that
Aye.
makes sense.
Was it a small
It
club?
sort of reminds us
Yeah.
of the one we did for that bloke's birthday.
Michael.
Michael I for Michael's
Aye.
birthday.
There wasn't like a stage around, it was just a room. You know
Nah,
what I mean?
right.
It was like you
We
could-
had a stage.
Yeah, we
at
did,
that
but
one.
it was
A stage.
Yeah. You wouldn't
The pallet in the corner.
you couldn't get a band in this one.
right.
It would be
Right.
like duo max. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. I'll put your name forward. But yeah, absolutely lovely gig. Really enjoyed it, and definitely something I'm going to look into this year. Like if there's a market for
It's definitely a market for that sort of
that
stuff.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think
Some clubs would love that simply because there's less money.
true.
Don't have to pay
Oh,
for a
I would
band.
love that.
They'd be so
Yeah.
down for that.
They were all up dancing and stuff. Again, because that's the worry when you play acoustic. It's like, yes, you can play louder or play certain songs or whatever, but like it's never going to be the atmosphere that a band is. It's just not possible. You know, you can't make that amount of noise. They're all up dancing, you know, singing along and stuff. So I absolutely loved it. It was great. It's opened my eyes a little bit to perhaps that's an avenue to go down.
Back to the club scene.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like if that's the crack,
If that's
Aye,
yeah.
exactly.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely loved it.
Nice one.
You never know when we play the Washington Gardeners Club, you'll be playing in between work.
Could you imagine?
That'd
They
be
have
great.
2 acts on there.
They
That'd
do
be
that. The solo artist players in the band and then solo artists in the band.
It's usually track though,
It is. Yeah, you're right.
so it might.
They might not though.
We'll put you. Let's see.
Oh yeah, put it away.
Yeah,
Put it away.
we'll mention you.
Yeah. But then we'll have to organise for set list because if I do the 60s
That
stuff,
is true.
I'll have to like say, here, do you do the X, Y, and Z? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll have to like pick each other's.
We don't
songs.
negotiate our set list with anyone.
No, we don't.
We
Ours
do
is
our
set in
set list.
stone.
I know, but I would not want to copy you guys.
No, do
I
it.
would purposely play something
Because
else.
we did that when was it? Where that woman was singing. I don't know. What it was for Christmas
in
time.
colour
wasn't it?
coats.
Aye. I don't know what
Aye.
day it was. It was.
It was during
Some
Christmas.
Christmas
yeah. It was a
party.
Christmas party. Yeah.
But she was doing like some stuff that we would do. But the way we say it is like she's doing it sort of a solo. You would be acoustic, and we're full band, so it's going to sound different.
You're right, but
And if people have a drink.
And if people have a drink,
Yeah.
they'll have forgotten the first one.
That's true. Yeah. I'm that memorable. Okay, it's time for
What are you listening to?
right. Lyndon, what have you been listening to this week?
So I went down a Peter Gabriel rabbit hole, as I do from time to time. Scott knows I like
Was that
Peter
by
Gabriel.
we're having the conversation.
Yes,
in the
yes,
van
it
by any
was. Yes, it
chance?
was. My favourite Peter Gabriel song,
Mhm.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've mentioned it before, because we've done so many of
I
these
feel
now.
like this has been your what you're listening to before.
I don't know, but
100%.
anyway, I
We'll
have
to-
been
we'll to
listening
look
to it
back at the
again.
Playlists.
'Cause,
If not, I'll pick Salisbury Hill, because that's my second favourite one.
Because when we had Daniel on, we were talking about it. Hi, Daniel.
Hello!
Hello.
Yeah, it's because I was re-watching, you know, the guys from, is it Dead Wax?
Dead Wax.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah.
went to see Bob Clearmountain when they were doing the Born in the USA mix to have a breakdown of it,
it's a
and
great
they were
video, that.
they were talking about the snare sound,
Yeah.
and they was talking to Bob about how that was sort of his pioneering thing, but except it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was Hugh Padgham, because on Peter Gabriel's first solo album, that's the first time that sound's used.
Okay.
Is in Intruder. Phil Collins is playing the drums on Peter Gabriel's first solo album.
Really? I
And
didn't know that.
and that gated sound
Yeah.
was discovered in the studio, and it was on the SSL desks.
What the hell was
That
that?
That was a notification on the Alexa.
Ah, was it?
Hi, Alexa.
Alexa, clear notifications.
Okay, Lyndon, deleted your notification.
Lovely.
Thanks, babe.
No
Well, this is staying in. Oh, Shan says to babe.
Chan says to out. She's very submissive. What was I saying?
About
Sledgehammer. Yeah,
snare
the
sound.
snare sound. But anyway, I was re-listening to Peter Gabriel after we had that conversation and stuff. But
Yeah.
Sledgehammer. It's my favourite. It's
Very
one of my
good.
favourite songs ever as well. So I
yeah,
like Peter Gabriel.
I've got a love-hate relationship with that song.
Do you?
Like, again, when you've played it in a function band for a long time, you start to
Yeah.
get that like sledgehammer-itis. It's
Yeah.
like you just like you've played it.
I mean,
you've
the
heard it too many
production
times.
on it as well is
oh, it's so
phenomenal.
good.
Oh yeah, I mean the bass line when it comes in is like iconic.
That octave sound
God,
on
aye.
it is great.
I swear I have talked about it before because I remember I was going to mention. Have you heard Harry Styles' cover of it?
Yes.
Yes.
And we have mentioned that before.
Yeah.
you don't
I think
know
it's
Howard
come in
Stern.
conversation, but I
Howard
don't,
Stern, that's it. Yeah.
Howard Stern, yeah. But I don't think I've had it as me what you're listening to. And if I have, Salisbury Hill.
Put both in.
Yeah,
We're both in.
Yeah, yeah.
We love Peter.
Are they on the
Gabriel.
same
me too.
album?
No.
No. Well, that ended that conversation.
Sledgehammer's on So, and Salisbury Hills later, I think.
Is it?
All right. Scott.
I have been listening to an artist called His Golden Messenger.
You pull some
I
weird
do,
band names out the hat,
But
honestly.
honestly, I'm going to play it as after. It's unreal, the track.
If we ever did a pub quiz and there was a music round, I think we've got it covered, haven't we?
Well,
Yeah,
I've-
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we all listen to different things.
We do.
Anyway-
Very eclectic.
Anyway, the song in particular is called Standing in the Doorway. I think it's from 2014. It's an older song of his. And I think it's possibly my favourite song of the year. I've
Alright.
listened to it that many times. I absolutely love it.
What sort of music is it?
It's like, it's hard to describe. Do you know like Clean Cut Kid?
Yes.
It's sort of got a bit of that to it. But it's like folky, acoustic-y.
All right.
Yeah. It's just cool. It's really
Very cool. Nice one.
Aye. What have you been listening to, Jack?
So I discovered a song that I really should have heard by now. Like,
This is a common theme with you.
I know. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys would know it. So it's not like an obvious
Oh,
one.
okay.
What I'm saying is,
It's not the Beatles.
no, it's not the Beatles. It's a song by one of my favorite artists, covered by another one of my favorite artists that like I just should have been aware of.
Right, okay.
I was watching an interview of James Bay, right, and he was talking about it was a quiz. It was like him versus like a fan of who knew James Bay better,
Right.
And it was in America, I think. And the question was, what film did James Bay record a cover of Tom Petty for, or whatever, right? And it was basically he's done a version of a song called King's Highway,
Right.
and it was featured on the Cars 3 soundtrack.
All
So
right.
it's a Tom Petty song originally called King's Highway, and James Bay has covered it, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, it's
Can
so
imagine.
good. It's like,
Doesn't Cars just have the best soundtrack?
It does.
oh yeah,
They have the best soundtrack.
absolutely. I mean, Cars 1 is the best movie.
Oh, it is,
'cause
yeah.
I don't really like the other two movies, I'll be totally honest. Hence why I probably haven't heard the song.
Yeah.
Because I never watched Cars 3. Because Cars 2 was dreadful. So, I sound like Alex dissing all these movies. Hi,
Hello.
Alex.
Hello, Alex.
But yes, absolutely class song. It's like, it's got that country singer-songwriter Tom Petty Americana vibe, but done by a British guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
no, listen.
it's really,
Sounds
really
cool.
good. It's got everything that I love about that genre and that style, with like, you know, the cool riffs and slide, and it's just a great, really good
Nice
song.
one.
But
Actually,
yes,
it's funny you talk about people covering other artists. Have you ever heard Glenn Campbell's cover of Times Like These by the Foo Fighters?
no,
What?
I was fucking years ago I was listening to it, and I've just cropped up again on YouTube recently, and it's unreal.
really?
Times Like These by the Foo Fighters by Glenn Campbell.
What?
It's wicked. I'm sure I've showed you before.
No, I don't think so.
I'll play it once we finish the segment.
All right.
It's fucking good. It's really good.
Oh well, we'll have to have a listen. If you-
It is great when artists cover other artists. Like,
it's amazing because you hear a whole new interpretation of a
That's it,
song
yeah.
that you already knew. Sometimes it doesn't work.
no,
Sometimes
sometimes it's better.
Sometimes it's way better. Yeah, I
Aye.
totally agree.
that's true.
Totally agree. If you want to hear any of these songs that we're talking about, we always make a playlist on Spotify, which will be linked down below in the description on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, if you just search Lime Tree Sessions, what are you listening to? But it's WAYLT.
Why?
It's quite a long title, isn't it?
But it's not because
No, it's not when you
just- it's-
abbreviate it.
Yeah, I couldn't. My
Aye.
brain wasn't fast enough to work out what it was.
Welt.
If you just
Whale.
search Lime Tree Sessions, it should.
Yeah,
just
you'll
come up.
find it. You'll find. Or just go on my YouTube channel and it'll be in the
Aye.
description of this video. But yeah, they're all the songs we've been listening to this week. All right. So speaking of the Foo Fighters, have you heard about the news that they released probably yesterday or 2 days ago?
I saw something, but I didn't read it.
So they've basically announced that they're carrying on without Taylor.
Right.
Taylor Hawkins died last year on the 26th of March. I know that because
Was it that long ago?
yeah,
That's mental. That.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
26th of March.
yeah. But I know that because Safe With You came out on the 25th and he died the next day.
Yes, I remember.
So
Bloody hell.
yeah. So I guess my question is, what's your view on not only the Foo Fighters but bands carrying on after a significant member has passed? It's an interesting question. I think.
Do we know if his son's going to be playing?
They haven't announced that. He
He will be though, won't he?
They've basically. I
Would that
imagine.
make a difference to you?
I think it will, yeah, because he's carrying on his legacy in a way.
Okay.
Because it felt like because I watched the show, the Taylor Hawkins Memorial one.
We were giggling when it was on, weren't we? I remember
Yeah.
I was saying, yeah.
I watched the full thing because it started at something like 3 or 4 o'clock and it went
Right.
on till like midnight or something. It was. I really wish I went, to be honest. I mean, tickets were like astronomical, but
Yeah,
I really,
imagine.
I really wish I went, and it did feel a bit like an audition to who was gonna
Who was
be
going
the
to
next drummer.
Yeah.
Because I mean they had so many amazing people on. It would have just been like it felt similar to Live Aid because of the amount of people they had on,
Yeah.
and like it was very
Was it
very
at
good.
Wembley as well?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, bloody hell, they got Rush back together, minus obviously Neil Peart, who's passed away as well.
We always find a way to get Live Aid back in, don't we?
Yeah, we always talk about it, don't we?
It's Live Aid a band here.
I'm going to change my time machine answer.
Joe talked about Joe before with a hat. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I've still got your hat.
He was talking about we're bringing up Live Aid every fucking podcast when I was in the car with him the other day.
Right.
We like Live Aid.
we do.
I might change my answer then for the
Oh,
line.
the line for Time Machine.
Yeah, to the Taylor Hawkins Memorial Concert.
There we go.
Because it was probably more my thing.
Yeah.
Because it was. Oh, I mean, bloody hell, the lineup was ridiculous. I think it's all on YouTube if anybody wants to check it out.
It got taken down, didn't it, after it, and then is it gone back up again?
They cut out a load of the weighty around bits because, like, you know, in between every act there was like 10 minutes, 20 minutes of like nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Lots of changeover.
Yeah. Very big production, wasn't
Mhm.
it? What was the question? Yeah. What's your consensus on bands carrying on after a significant member has passed away?
I think it depends on which member. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
Because
it
we've
would
had
be-
this conversation before about like how a singer makes a band.
Yeah.
If Dave Grohl were to have died,
Yeah.
is it still the Foo Fighters if it's not him singing?
That's
Do
true.
you know what I mean? It's like
I'm the same, yeah.
it's like you could arguably replace a bass player or a drummer or whatever as long as they don't sing. It's like
It's
like if you
Yeah.
were to go and we replaced you as
I'd
the
be
Jack
fine with
So
that.
had a Jack
Milkreast
Milkreast
band.
band.
It wouldn't be the same,
it
would
would be
it?
a lot more successful than you.
Don't be daft, man.
But I think it depends. But I think most bands should try and carry on. I don't know. It's circumstantial, isn't it?
It's a grey area. It's a grey
It
area.
is a grey area.
Because my consensus is actually specific to the Foo Fighters. I wouldn't have minded if they didn't carry on.
Yeah.
Because I think Taylor was like probably the second most important member of the band.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
he was the closest to Dave, wasn't he?
but he also sang.
Yeah.
He sang a
very
lot.
did.
Like there's a few songs.
Of the Foo Fighters, they're the only two I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I know them all because I really like the Foo Fighters. But I think what I'm trying to say is that when you think of the Foo Fighters, they're probably the first two people
Yeah.
that come to mind.
Aye, definitely.
And Taylor's like, what, the best drummer of his generation?
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
You know?
I think it does. It just depends on the person. I think, which is horrible to say because it shouldn't.
Do you think
But
it's
again,
like a
it's like
personality thing?
if Chris Martin died in Coldplay, could Coldplay still continue?
I don't know.
Because I don't know the rest
I
of
don't know anybody
Coldplay.
else in Coldplay.
So it's like I think
I
it
know
depends
Will
on the
Champion, the drummer. Will Champion.
Is that what he's
That's
called?
what he's called.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the character of the person, which is a horrible thing to say, but
Because then you look
It
at a band
does.
like AC/DC,
yeah,
their frontman
That
died,
is true.
and they carried on and they were just as successful with the new frontman.
but
Yeah,
Angus
that's
Young's
true.
very well known, and it's like
Yeah, obviously they couldn't replace Angus. I mean, they replaced. Do you know what? In that band, they've replaced everybody apart from the bass player and Angus.
yeah,
Yeah, they have.
Technically, because the drummer got replaced in the 90s, and then again quite recently because of a court case.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
Singer
about
obviously got replaced when he died, and Malcolm, when he became too ill and then died, he got replaced. It's not really the same band anymore, really, is it?
No.
But they're still going.
yeah.
Do you know what you're saying? They're not minding if Foo Fighters weren't to carry on.
Yeah.
What if Dave carried on, but under like a solo artist, just Dave Grohl?
I actually think that makes more sense.
Do you reckon that would have been better to do?
Yeah, I mean, it'll never happen.
Right.
But
because they've said they're going to carry on.
But I sort of think, I don't know, because I don't think it's like I don't think it's a bad thing to go solo, and especially under the circumstances, I think
It's a knife in the side of the rest of the members of the band, though. If Dave
Yeah.
Grohl
They-
just
they've
suddenly
they've all got side projects.
to be fair, though,
Yeah,
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
considerably less successful than Dave Grohl would be. If Dave Grohl
Yeah.
went solo,
I reckon
he'd
it's-
sell out Wembley still.
That's
You
true.
would go to see him, wouldn't you?
I reckon
would
it'd still
actually,
be
yeah.
his band, though, wouldn't it?
Possibly.
He'd still have them
Do you
as his
think?
band. Yeah, I reckon they would.
Do you think you would do like a Dave Grohl's Foo Fighters? Like
Like
do
Jeff
Something
Lindsay,
like-
hello.
Something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, maybe.
So it would be like Dave Grohl with his new solo album, but still plays the hits.
Yeah,
And his
yeah.
backing band are
The Foo Fighters.
the Foo Fighters.
I also think it's another thing is maybe Dave knew that Taylor would want them to carry on
oh yeah,
rather than saying, "No, I'm dead now. You must stop."
there's definitely an element of that. I think.
Yeah,
Would
I-
Taylor Hawkins say, "What don't be daft, carry on"?
I think that conversation's definitely been hard.
It's been, it's like if something would have happened to one of us, would you carry on? I think Taylor would probably want them to keep going.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, it's not. I think it's definitely all positive. It's not like, it's not a.
It's not like they've closed the book and that's
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
finished. They've
It's,
sort of.
it's still very positive, and there's obviously no bad blood. It's very, I think it's. It might be the wrong word to use, but kind of uplifting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because maybe it would be worse if they just went, no, that's it. But.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a interesting topic. I
I
think.
think it'll be interesting to see what they do now. Like
Yeah.
what stuff they come
I
out with.
think
and
I
stuff.
agree with what you said. The only logical successor.
Is to get his son.
Yeah,
That
or,
would be great.
Roger Taylor's son.
yeah.
Because
he
Roger
looks exactly
Taylor's
like
son,
him.
he looks like he plays exactly like him,
Yeah.
and he's his favourite drummer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's gone
He's
out
also
to say
he's also his
Godfather.
Godfather. Yeah. They're
would
the
be
only
cool.
two logical.
They are, yeah.
Maybe they bring both of them on. Maybe they do
Two drummers.
two drummers.
Been done before.
Yeah, or like they do 2 45s and 1 45 is there with the
Do you know what?
son.
It could happen, It could.
Yeah, we just have one on percussion and one drumming, and then you can switch it during the.
Aye, exactly.
Be handy to have a spare
Then
drummer.
Dave gets up and plays drums for a song as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have 3 drummers.
It's handy, isn't it, in a band? Imagine if you got tired and just go, "Yeah, you do it."
Do you
Yeah.
fancy having a stint for a bit?
You
Yeah.
do it. I'll just sit here and play guitar.
I did that once.
Did you?
We there was we did a it was in college, and we got picked to do the graduation ceremony for
Right.
the uni students. And they do it every year where the people who are on the course on the college they form the band and do the graduation
Yeah, yeah.
ceremony. And I think it was like 6 graduations a day, so we did like 6 gigs or whatever, if you want to call them that, 6 events.
Right.
Mhm.
And in the last one, we were all like, should we swap instruments? So we did. It was great.
Again, we had that conversation the other day, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
It's like, what an absolute shit show it would be if we just all moved one to the right.
Rotated.
I mean, you play everything.
You'd be,
Wait,
you'd be the best.
You'd be all right.
I dabble in things.
Yeah.
Either way we moved, I'd be fucked because I'm either on guitar or drums, and that's not going to work.
You
The
can
only
play
thing
bass.
I could plausibly get away with the bass, but that's not one of the
Hang
left
on a
or the
minute.
right.
Hang on. So if you could, let's think about this logically. I know
Okay.
nobody
We're having
cares,
this
but like let's actually
conversation.
think
Yeah.
about this, right? So you could play bass.
Yeah,
So
I
you
can
could-
get by on bass.
Yeah. Could Kelvin plays piano?
Calvin's played piano.
Also, Kelvin's played drums.
And Calvin's played
Right,
drums.
there you go. So if we put
Rob's also played drums.
you're fine then. As long as you play the bass, any of you could switch.
I suppose. We'd maybe do one song and that would be it.
Something
do like
bluesy.
my
Yeah,
generation or
bluesy.
something.
Aye.
There you go. You can sing
And
it.
my generation, the bass line, and that's you're gonna put me on it.
Oh yeah.
I
I was thinking because it's 2 notes. I was like, oh, that'll be all right.
Just none of the fancy John Entwistle
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got the hardest job there.
Aye. He's unreal, like John Entwistle, like.
I think
me.
the easiest song to do would be
Aye, we have to pick one from the set.
the Kinks one that we do.
You really got me.
You really got me.
Yeah.
I could do that because I could do that and sing still probably.
Yeah, that'd be cool. 100%, like for an April Fool's or something, you should swap instruments.
instruments.
Like just for the one song.
Yeah.
I
For
think
this
it'd be
next
so
song, we're
funny.
all gonna
Ladies and
switch
gentlemen, this
instruments.
is a test.
Yeah. Be like,
It
oh,
would be good.
the lineup's changed, like, hasn't it? What's
Would be
going
good
on?
fun, to be fair.
I think you should. I think it would be so funny.
Love to give it a go. It would sound like we did when we started. That's what
Yeah,
it would
it
be
would.
like.
Aye. Well, actually, there's a video somewhere of learning You Really Got Me.
There is.
You on guitar,
It'll
weren't
never
you?
see the light of day.
No, can I see
Well,
it?
yes, you'll see it.
All right,
You got it. I haven't got the video.
It'll be in the chat. I'll find it.
all right,
I'm on guitar because I started on guitar in the band. So
all right.
because
Kelvin
Kelvin
was
was
on
the
keys,
keyboard
wasn't he?
player,
Yeah.
We'll have to find it.
and then thank God.
At what moment did you think, are we on the right instruments? Like what?
Do you know what? I don't know.
I can't remember. I can't remember the switch. It just happened.
I mean, Kelvin was better at guitar than me, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe I was better at keyboard than Kelvin. So it just seems
Just logical.
a logical thing to do.
But why were you already on those instruments to start off with.
I went on guitar because they were already a band before I met
Yeah.
them.
And Kelvin
was the keyboard
He had
player.
a keyboard, so
He had a keyboard,
No,
so he was
but
automatically the
it
keyboard.
was his
player.
main instrument at the time as well.
That was his main instrument. So when I went in, it was sort of like, because my main instrument's keyboard. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to go, move out the way. I'm clearly better than you.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that. So I was like, well, I'll play guitar. I could dabble a little bit.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't working. I'm not a guitarist.
It was quite handy. You had your guitar at the time, wasn't it?
It was?
Because you didn't buy it because of that. You already had it.
No, I already
didn't
had
you?
it. Yeah, I had a guitar.
Fair enough.
But
It's interesting, like.
my keyboard was better than his anyway. It's fine.
It
Why?
was. Lauren's got it now, hasn't he? Hasn't she? Even.
Yeah, Lauren's got Kelvin's old
keyboard.
Casio.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. It's just full of shout outs, the podcast now, isn't it?
I think it should become like a segment.
Don't we just shout out people?
Just shout out
When-
people.
when-
We'll have like scrolling credits and we're going
Yeah.
to shout out to these people.
when we get a
I was
Patreon,
just going to say that.
we'll get a Patreon, right? And then we'll just
All
be
the
like,
producers.
yeah,
It's usually
oh,
what they put them down, innit?
thank you so much to all my Patreons on this episode. Blah, 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 you know, thank you for giving us all your money. We're not going to do that unless,
No.
like, you know, we'll become
We're not
massive.
that desperate. We're not that poor.
No, no. When
Yet.
when we get a bit bigger, you might have to start.
By the
paying.
time we've bought a neon sign
Yes.
and we're
Yes.
all broke.
It's going to happen.
and it's not a
gonna go there.
computer generated one. I've just gave
Yeah.
the game away there.
Yeah,
but
yeah. This is
I'm sure-
real.
I'm sure
I
they'd be
can't
able to
wait
work
to see it.
out.
No. How long before he gives up and it's always been a clock?
Well, yeah, it's a very good point.
It's either a clock or the logo. Yeah, the podcast logo. Would you put that one on?
I read one.
Yeah, I'll put the podcast logo on.
Well, 'cause
or
you-
it's always been on. What we talked about.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. All right, so we probably should have done this on the last episode, but like, we didn't really have time. And to be honest, I've just thought of it now.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about our favorite song/album to come out in 2022. It's only 2 days into 2023, so it's still a relevant
Way
topic,
aye,
you know.
way aye.
So I'm going to make Lyndon go first because his didn't technically come out in 2022, but
It did. It was printed this year.
Technically, it was printed this year, but realistically, it wasn't. Do you want to tell everyone what it
Yeah.
was?
I'll pick the Revolver album.
Yeah, that classic 2022
That
Beatles album.
2022 Beatles album.
Very modern.
Because,
It got remastered.
it's
in
a common
2022.
occurrence that I don't pick modern songs.
No.
I don't mind modern music. It's just my go-tos.
Yeah.
Classic.
Nothing wrong
older
with
stuff.
that. Nothing wrong with
But,
that. And it technically came out last year because it was remastered.
Yes.
It's great.
It sounds different.
I got it on vinyl actually.
Did you?
Yeah, it's really
You
good.
listen to it?
It is. It's
It's
good.
good, like, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very good. It's my favourite Beatles album.
Yeah. It's one of
So-
my favourite Beatles albums.
Yeah. And Your Bird Can Sing is just the best
Oh,
song.
it
It's
is
great.
great.
Such a
Great
great
song.
song. I'm gonna pick. It was a toss up between two albums that I really like, but do you know what? I'm gonna go for both. I don't care. It's our
not?
podcast. I can do what I want. The two albums that came out in 2022 that I really, really like and are my favourites are Growing Up by Luke Combs. Really, really great album. Probably his best, in my opinion. And Leap by James Bay.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep.
Has to be done.
Yeah, because that came out last year and it was mint. And very, very controversial opinion. I think it's his best album. And
Fair
I
enough.
know most people would not say that because I mean, Chaos and the Calm, his first album, is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an absolute
The
masterpiece.
good.
The goat.
Of James Bay.
The goat.
Greatest of all time.
Is that what that stands for?
Did you not know that?
God, you're so old. Even I knew that.
Is that what that stands for?
Did you never know that?
Nah.
Aye.
I used to think.
Do you think people are just calling each other goats?
Yeah, genuine. Like
Oh, no.
when I've seen people comment on stuff, being like, "Oh, it's the goat," that, and I'm like,
Or the goat emoji.
yeah, and I was like, I don't really know what that means, but I also,
Really?
I've never felt so young.
I know. I've just aged about 50 years.
Aye.
Knowing what the
I'd say
flippin'
that's
goat is.
my favourite James Bay album. Like,
What
Chaos and
Case?
Calm, yeah.
It's like an absolute masterpiece, and the songs are amazing. And like, I love the story behind it, that it was recorded in Nashville, and but the new album, I say new, it's probably 6 months old now, isn't it? But Leap, it was produced by Dave Cobb, who is one of my favorite producers.
Right.
He's he works a lot with Chris Stapleton. He's big in the country world. And then there's a bunch of like guest writers that he worked with on this album.
Right.
Like he worked with Foy Vance.
Yes, yes.
All
aye.
right.
And I like the idea that it's the same style of album as Chaos in the Calm, but the production's even better. In my opinion.
What was the album before? It was Wild Love.
Electric Light?
Electric Light, that's what it's called. The
And I
Wild Love album.
don't really like
Do you know
that
what?
album.
I do. I really like that album.
You probably like it for the reason that I don't like it.
Fair enough.
It's like because it's It's too different.
Yeah, it is. It's very different from his other stuff. It was when he had his hair cut and everything, wasn't it? He went for
Didn't
the
mind.
phase.
Didn't mind the haircut, but it's just more the. Pink Lemonade's a good song. Wasted on Each Other's a good song.
Yes. What's the last one called again? Where it has that really big build up, like sort of. Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
What, the last song on the album?
Yeah.
Should
You gonna
find
get it
for
up?
you. Yeah.
Live research.
Well, I'll tell you
Live
what. While
research.
you're getting that up, shall I tell you my album?
Yes.
My favourite album of this 2022 would probably be Paolo Nutini's new album. Oh, Mike's just gone. Last
Mike's
night,
gone limp.
I didn't see that.
Last Night in the Bittersweet. It's one hell of an album.
Last time we did the podcast, we were on our.
Right, hang on. I think that's it.
All right, we're so
It's because I fidget with it. I shouldn't.
You shouldn't
so
really.
professional. So professional.
Aye.
Last time we did the podcast, we were on our way to see.
We were.
We
We were.
went on our way. We were about to go on our way to go see Paolo Nutini in Glasgow. Lyndon, how was that gig for you?
It was alright.
I didn't.
I
enjoy
loved it, me.
Me and Sophie.
It was sort of hit and miss. Like some songs, just thought this does nothing for me.
to put
And
it
some
in,
songs were
to put
bloody
it in,
phenomenal.
To put it in perspective, don't necessarily want to spoil it, but he did play all of his old songs, bar a couple, in his new style. Because the new album isn't necessarily like the old stuff. Because I think he's probably most famously known for playing like soulful, emotional ballads, like with nice
Which there is one, to be
instrumentation.
fair, Julianne.
Yeah, but most of the songs that he played, his old songs, he played them in his new acid house style, and it was just weird.
I loved it, me.
Not
do you know
big
what-
on
do you know what,
Acid
though?
House.
Not when it's Paolo. Like if it was,
Oh, it's mint.
ironically,
Yeah, the stage presence as well.
I'd say this is the reason I don't like Electric Light. This
It's quite dancey, isn't
this
it?
ties in quite nicely
Yeah.
because Electric Light, James Bay's second album, it's so different, and I understand that he was just trying something out. That's totally cool, but it's too electronic, and for me, it doesn't have that singer-songwriter vibe anymore. And I know that's not what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
And I mean, he comes out and says that like he was trying something new, and
Yeah.
and I think the songs are good. Just don't necessarily like the way they were. The last
Aye, what was the
song
last one?
is called Slide.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one?
I think that's the one, yeah.
Again, like, I like the idea of it all, but because it was done by him, I just don't think it works as well as what
I suppose
he's
when you've
known
got
for.
that attachment to the first album and what you like him for,
Yeah.
like we're saying with Paolo, Sophie listened to his earlier stuff and that being her era for Paolo, and then him doing everything different
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing, isn't it?
Because he did Pencil Full of Lead is by far one of, if not his best song. It's a great song. And it's so uplifting with the brass section. And we were like, this is going to be class live. This will be insane.
Yeah.
Because his band were mint.
I
The band
understand,
were
yeah,
mint.
yeah.
And he came out and it was like, I got my pencil full of lead. And we were like, what the hell is going on? It was just, I felt like I was in Train Spotting. Like, it was
Watch the
just
Chemical
crazy.
Brothers or something.
Oh, I like the Chemical Brothers, but again, because the Chemical Brothers do the
or
Chemical
them,
Brothers.
not Paolo, yeah.
Yeah. It's
What-
like,
one thing we can say about it though, the graphics.
yeah, they
Oh
were
my
good.
The
God.
best
They were
graphics
good.
in any live show
Unbelievable.
ever. It was like some of the psychedelic stuff, like Moody Blues sort of album cover sort of thing. I think I said that
Again,
on the night.
that was cool.
The production team were on it.
Oh god,
I just thought it was, yeah. I wish he did it more. I wish he played the songs like how they were on the albums, including the new album.
Yeah.
Like because he can still do the acid house thing, but just
Leave the original ones
Yeah.
as they are.
yeah, 100%. Because I think he only played 2 songs of his old stuff that were like the record,
Yeah.
and that was Candy and Funk My Life Up.
why?
Funk My Life Up was good. That was actually
Yeah.
really good.
Do you think that was your favourite one of the night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked that song, and he played it like the record, and the band sounded class.
Yeah.
It was a good sound, like.
It was. Do you know what?
Really good venue.
Really enjoyed the arena. Really
Yeah, me
enjoyed
too.
it.
It's
Great
an
venue.
interesting sort of concept for an arena with it just being one big round dome.
Yeah. It's cool because you feel closer than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Yeah,
or
that's
you, or
it.
you
We
are,
were quite close,
yeah,
like.
or you are closer than you
Feel.
would be if it was a different shape. I know what I mean. If you've been if you've been at the Hydro in Glasgow, you'll kind of know what we're on about. It's like it's an interesting shape.
I was more happy that we got parked.
That was tell the story. That was hilarious.
So we went in the van, and I obviously couldn't fit in the multi-story. And we went around, basically drove around the back of the arena.
Yeah.
All the
Stage
production
door.
teams go.
All the
everything.
production teams go, and all of Paolo's tour buses
Yeah.
were there. And I said to the mate, I was like, "Excuse me, do you know anywhere I can park tall vehicles round here?" And he just went, "Are you here for Paolo?" Well, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
And he just went, "Oh, I think if you're too tall, you can come in here." So we just literally parked next to the tour buses.
Must have thought we were part
He
of the
must
crew.
have thought we were part of the crew or something.
It was so
I went
funny.
here for Paolo.
And we were the only people parked in that car
We
park.
literally came out and there must have been maybe 10 cars in there, but it was just the thing sat there by itself.
It was dead funny.
It was
like
great.
We were like, "Oh, wait, fair enough.
Best
Thanks, mate."
parking for a gig ever.
I know.
Yeah.
Didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Didn't have to pay for the parking.
Nah.
Great. So if anyone ever goes to the Hydro in
We've
Glasgow,
told everyone now.
Lime Tree top tip.
Yes.
Buy a van.
yes,
Like it'll
have
get
something tall enough not to filter the multi-story, and then you'll be
buy
fine.
a van, buy a high vis jacket, and get some ladders.
Yeah.
And just say you're part of the crew. There
Yeah.
you go.
Get anywhere.
Get anywhere. That, to be fair, there is a video online of people doing that. Have you
Yes,
seen it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's loads, isn't there? Yeah.
It's great. It's great. But yeah, I really enjoyed the arena.
It was good.
It was really
We'll have
good.
to try and find someone else that's playing there and go and see.
Kiss are playing there next year.
Are
Yeah, yeah. And the tickets are significantly less than playing Newcastle.
Really?
Yeah.
How's what?
So, Kiss are on their farewell tour that's been happening for the past 10 years, and I've seen them twice already on the farewell tour. And the
Like Elton John.
yeah, basically. But like, they play in the same places that they already have.
Right.
So I seen them in Newcastle in 2019, I think, on the farewell tour. And then last year, 2022, I saw them in Amsterdam on their farewell tour. And they're playing both of those venues again this year, 2023, on
Right.
their farewell tour again, right? The Newcastle tickets. I'm not a fan that they've done this either. They've done like the Golden Circle thing where you pay extra to be at the front, even though it's a
aye.
standing gig. I don't like
That's
that.
all not,
That's
no.
not very cool. So a bog standard ticket, I think there were like 100 and something each for like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bog standard standing ticket, you know, which is just way too expensive.
It's a
It's
lot of money.
ridiculous. At the Hydro, there were about 60 or 70. But then I'm like, by the time you spent your petrol money going to Glasgow,
That's it.
is
yeah.
it worth it? But then I was thinking, I'd much rather see Kiss in the Hydro because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
it's
a
a good
great
arena.
arena. Imagine that.
Yeah, the Utilia isn't the best, is it?
It's not ideal. No.
It's crap. Let's be frank.
Yeah, it is
It's
dreadful.
absolutely abysmal.
There goes
place.
our sponsor.
I know. I can't wait.
Sort yourself out.
I can't wait for the Gateshead one to be built.
Yeah.
the arena there.
Yeah.
that'll be good. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Actually, funny you were saying about ticket prices in the front. Have you heard what Billy Joel does? Where he
Yeah.
leaves the front rows empty. You can't buy tickets for them, and he brings like diehard fans
from the back.
from the back to the. That's
It's a
great.
good
that.
idea.
It's great.
I love him for that.
You can spot a die-hard fan a mile off.
Exactly.
He was saying in this interview though, he said he did it. He started doing it because Elton John did it.
oh, did
but-
Elton John do it?
Yeah,
Ah.
but Elton John just had all these like young lads at the front,
Yeah.
and he
I
was
wonder
like,
why.
and he was like, I won't do that. I'll find fans, not just young
Eye
lads. You know?
candy for him.
Yeah. So I'd
It's
love
better
to
that Elton John did that because they're basically the UK and American equivalents of
Yeah.
each other, aren't they?
yeah.
They're the same type of artist, really.
You say that, Billy Joel's
Oh, yes, Billy
so
Joel's
much better.
I was going to say everyone knows Billy Joel's the real.
Yeah.
Piano man.
He's the guy.
Well, Elton John can't really sing like
No,
you.
he
Billy
can't.
Joel can still.
Oh, aye.
He sounds exactly the same now as he did when he was younger. So
Yeah.
Not to mention the piano parts at the same time.
yeah,
Those
he's a better
piano parts are
piano player. He's
unreal.
just a better singer and a better piano player
Yeah. He's great.
and a better songwriter.
Yeah. I love his music. He's great. Okay, it's time for
Quick fire questions.
drop my phone while we were dancing to that. Right. If we've had some of these before, I apologise. It's been 16
What's
episodes.
your toothbrush colour?
Wait, he's got a new one.
I've got a new
Oh,
one.
he's got Daniel. You'll be so happy.
Hi, Daniel.
Go on
Scott.
then.
It's black.
It's black
Yeah. And it
it's got-
vibrates.
and it's got 3 modes.
and it vibrates.
Yeah.
Also, Scott's bought a
Toothbrush. He's also brought a toothbrush.
yeah.
Yeah.
A
Sorry.
muscle gun.
And that's why I put the
Scott's got a vibrator. That's basically
and that's
it.
why I put the explicit thing on the podcast
Yes.
website because of things like that. So, all right. I think this is an interesting question
Yeah, we're going.
because I do have an answer for this. What's your very first memory? So not musical, just very
I
first
can answer
memory.
I
this.
have one.
Yeah.
I can answer that.
Go on then.
Mine's not glamorous. It would be nursery.
Yeah.
I remember being
It's
ill
nursery.
and my dad coming to pick us up from nursery.
Okay.
That's my earliest thing I can remember.
Mine's also nursery.
Yeah.
Mine is as well.
That is just your earliest
That's
memory,
the age
isn't
at
it?
which you remember stuff,
It's
isn't
because
it?
it's the first point in your life where you're actually doing stuff
Yes.
activity-wise
Yeah.
with other people, so you remember it. Anyway, it was playing in a sand pit in nursery
All right.
with a bloke called Ben Tate.
Is he a drummer now?
No.
Guitarist now, even, sorry.
No.
It's a different Ben Tate.
Different Ben Tate.
All right.
There you go. That's
I don't know why I mentioned that because I know someone called Ben
Oh,
Tate
do
as
you?
well. Yeah, and he's from Ashington, so it's not
Oh, is
exactly
he?
like a million miles away. I don't know him personally, but I
Yeah,
friends
know
with
of
him.
him.
Yeah. My very first memory was in nursery as well, and I remember the teacher. I don't know what you would call it, supervisor, caterer, whatever it is in a nursery, the person in charge.
Yes.
Temporary
Temporary parent, effectively.
parent, the babysitter.
Yeah.
That song had just came out. I say hey,
Yeah.
that
the
one.
Cheeky Girls.
Yeah, and she
No,
was,
it's not the Cheeky Girls.
I don't know who it
It's
is.
Las Ketchup.
Is that what the band's called?
Last ketchup.
Las Ketchup, they're Spanish.
Or Lass.
Yeah.
All right, that song had just came
Yeah.
out, and my first memory is her trying to teach us the dance moves. So I say hey,
Yeah,
that one.
You're on camera, people.
I say hey. Yes, watch the podcast if you're listening to see my.
That's a
awesome
good
dance
question,
moves.
though, actually.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
thought
one.
that was all right. That was all right.
Because other people are going to be thinking of that when they hear it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how much you remember.
Yeah.
I think my dad. Hi, Mark. He told me that his first ever memory was watching the moon landing on TV.
That is so cool.
What year was your dad born?
He was born 1967.
That makes sense. 69.
So
yeah.
he said like he vaguely remembers sitting on his dad's knee and his dad going, "Them men on there are on the moon."
I'd love to have seen
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I'm positive that was his first memory, or at least one of his first.
I think
Forgive me,
that's-
Dad, if
I
it's
think that's one
slightly
of the
off.
best first memories everyone's ever. I bet there's quite a few
Yeah.
people that have had that as well.
And I'm also sorry, Dad, for revealing your age to everybody.
I think everyone who's of that age knows that. It's
Yeah.
Like, my dad remembers watching the moon landing. So
Yeah.
like,
People do.
we'll be able to watch the Mars landing. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It will.
Back in my day.
Shame it won't be a first memory, though.
No, it won't be the first memory.
No.
Well, at least you get to see it. It's a bit of history.
Absolutely. Okay. This is a good question as well, I think. What did you say as a kid when asked, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, I can answer
I've
that.
got one.
Yeah.
You
Do
go
you
first.
want me to go first this time? I want to be a metro train driver.
All right.
Specifically metros for some reason.
The next stop is
Yes.
Hewitt.
That's me. That was mine.
Nice.
What about you?
Police officer.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to join the police just before going to uni to do music.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, police.
Mine's boring. I always said either rock star.
That one came true.
Well, not well. It's
That's
more,
a cool one, to be fair.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, well, I tell you what, there was a turning point because when I watched School of Rock when I was 6. So then from then it was like, oh, I just want to be a musician. But before that, it was rally driver, which in
yes, I remember you
retrospect,
saying
So funny.
in retrospect, I'm really glad.
I mean,
went
you
the other
effectively
way.
have done that because rally drivers hit lots of things as
Yeah.
well. So,
The only thing I didn't have is a navigator next to us
or a roll bar.
or a rope.
It's like you and Jack come back from the Houndcats gig.
Yeah. Hi, Jack.
Hello, Jack.
We did, you know, we were a rally team that day. Like,
Yeah.
we definitely were.
Not handy when your navigator goes, whoa!
Yeah.
You know, going a bit too fast when your navigator goes, whoa.
Or slightly panicking when the driver goes, whoa!
Yeah.
You know something's not right then.
Well, actually, I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was when we went to go see the Houndcats like a few weeks later.
Yeah.
At Stack. I was talking to Stephen about it, and because I said, "Oh, did you get home all right?" You know, kind of thing, and he went, "No, we went sideways as well." So,
Must be lethal.
so
down
Steve, well, lethal or
there. Or no one can drive.
no one can
It's a
drive.
musician's trait.
I said, was it the same corner? He went, it was a big corner. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. He said, like, he didn't, I think he said he spun, actually. He sort of went.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, not have been gritted, I imagine.
Oh, well, Jack's a better driver than Stephen, then.
who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? If you won the lottery tomorrow, what would be your very first expense?
How much have I won? Because that is dependent.
What
Are we
is-
talking the normal lottery or the Euro Millions?
what is
Oh,
what is currently the Euro Millions big prize at the minute?
Because you can get like 140 million sometimes on the Euro Millions.
But you know how like it carries on. So like at this very
What
moment,
rolls over?
yeah, like what is
Um,
it currently at?
Let's find out.
That's the prize money.
It's a good one, this.
Because if it's I was about to say if it's only $1 million, that's so
Only $1 million.
that's so wrong with me
Love
to
£1
say.
million.
But like you're right. It does determine on what you buy.
Give us a second.
Okay. I'll put some lift music in here. while we speed it up.
I'm trying to think of something now. I'm stuck between two different ones that I'd go for.
It says base jackpots on Lotto are 2 million on a Wednesday and 3.8 million on a Saturday. So what day are you playing on? Wednesday or Saturday?
What day is it today?
Monday.
So that's 0.
Yeah, because there's no lottery on a Monday. It's Wednesday or Saturday.
We'll go Wednesday because
Okay,
it's
so you've got 2 million.
a house. It's probably the first thing, but like not like something that I couldn't like run.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to think about that, haven't you? 'Cause
Yeah.
although you've got all that money, you've got to think about paying
Detached
bills.
new build in Gosforth. Yeah, that's probably what I'd go for.
Right.
Or no, detached new build in Morpeth. Yeah, that's better.
Morpeth.
Yeah, I like.
I'll
Morpeth.
get more bang for me buck to build my own house. Considerably cheaper than buying a house.
That's true. If you
That's
bought
a
your
shout.
land.
Yeah, you have to buy the land, though, wouldn't you?
Do you know if you buy land, you can technically become a lord?
Yes.
That's class, isn't it?
You own the land.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's mint. Anyway,
I'd
sorry.
build my own house.
Okay,
I have a few nice cars. I like a car.
yeah. So it would be a Tesla and an E-Type Jag.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds good to me.
I'd hire a driver.
Would you?
Well, I'm not fucking driving. Like,
Fair enough.
Can you imagine me getting me onto a Lamborghini?
No,
Imagine.
that would be the end of Jack.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you in a Lamborghini.
No.
You won't be able to see over the steering wheel. Quite low seats in a Lamborghini, you know.
At least I get in it though.
That is true.
You know.
That's true. You might have a bit difficulty, Lyndon.
That is true. I'm not that tall.
No, you're not really. It's 'cause
Ah.
we're short.
Yeah.
Looks much taller than he is.
Get a booster seat.
I think mine would be a house as well.
Yeah, I mean, house
You'd
is
have
the
to have a
obvious
house.
one.
And then it
isn't
would be like a vehicle. I'd probably
Yeah.
get a camper or
your
a
Land Rover.
Defender, yeah.
Yeah,
110.
yeah. And then just like all the guitars I've ever wanted.
Yeah, I'd have a bloody good studio.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
I'd have a few racks of gear.
Oh, aye.
Well, we've had this conversation going to see. Paolo didn't know about a studio out in Northumberland somewhere, whatever.
Yeah, because
Build a studio.
what's the one in Wales called?
The one that Oasis and Queen have been to.
Yeah,
and all
Zeppelin,
that.
people like that.
Oh, aye, Led Zeppelin haven't they? Oh, what is it called?
Fields or something, Rock Fields.
Rockfield Studio, I think
Is that
that
what
is,
it's
yeah,
called?
I think so.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that in Northumberland, it's so out in the country, fields and
I think that would be the two best things that I would ever have in my life. Being outdoors and also having a studio there.
yeah,
It sounds ideal.
It's great, like,
it'd be pretty unreal. Having but then would have it so you could have people stay there when they record their albums.
Aye.
I think a lot of studios like that. Again, we'll go back to Peter Gabriel. His studio's like
Yeah,
that.
it is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Real world's in the middle of nowhere, and it's got those like cottages attached to it that people can stay in.
Is that the one where it's like really big windows?
Yes.
And the desk is right in front of them. I know which one you mean.
There's a massive SSL console.
Yeah, yeah.
Like SSL 9000 in it. I was like,
Nice.
living the dream.
So that would be my third purchase. A studio.
Studio worth considerably more than the money we've just won.
We'd also buy second camera for Limetree.
We would,
so when
yes.
we do with sessions, it's always good to have a second
It
camera
is.
in it.
Always handy.
Would have fucking 10 cameras.
Aye. I mean,
Sony
we
A7s.
wouldn't be buying them. We'd be buying like film cameras.
Nah, I would get proper
Like it
ones.
would be
The
sick.
best quality
Oh, aye,
ever.
Our production game would be so good.
aye.
Can you imagine having those cameras in here?
Aye.
How much space that would take up.
I was gonna say you might not only get one in. It's,
Would also be very warm.
yes,
I imagine they get quite hot.
probably. Yeah.
Aye. It was a good question, that.
It was.
Good question.
It was an alright question. It was alright. I wouldn't put me in charge of the questions next time. What's the biggest lesson you've learnt so far
What, in life?
in life?
Jesus.
Big question.
The biggest lesson.
Count your money when you get paid.
Right.
That's always a good one.
I suppose.
To see if you've been paid more.
No.
That's happened at gigs before. It's
That
good to be
happens
fair.
at gig, aye.
Always count your money at the gig
Yes.
to any
What
musicians.
biggest thing you've learned in life?
No.
Stop worrying about things for too long. That's probably one of mine.
That's something I'm still learning. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to get
It's a
too.
constant thing you're learning about.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like just learning that the world's not out to get you. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's a
'Cause,
good one.
Do you know what? Sometimes it feels like it is, but it's not, because we're
Yeah.
one small insignificant person compared to
Exactly.
the entire world.
Yeah.
Although that's a whole other reason to worry. But
Jesus.
anyway,
We've got very depressing all of a sudden.
welcome to Dr. Limetree, where we where we talk about issues with the world. Anyway,
The podcast's not long enough for that.
no,
It certainly isn't.
we couldn't take an hour. We'd have to take like.
We'll be here
about-
for the rest of the time talking about that.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Is that what you're gonna go for?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Just
know.
take a step back
yeah,
from things.
I mean, that as well, but I always do that. I just
yeah,
try not to worry.
yeah.
Life goes on, as they say.
Well, this is it. LIFE, whatever the rest of it is.
LIFEGUESON.
Do you know what? I got a B in English. You wouldn't think it, would you?
You got a B in English.
I did actually. Yeah.
I've got a C in English.
I
I
remember
can't.
what
No,
got.
you use big words and enunciate
I
properly.
do now. You didn't know me when I was at school. I was thick as shit.
Yeah, I'm that bad at English. I went from set 1 down to set 3. in the
Speaking of
space
bad
of
at
a year.
English,
Really?
Yes.
speaking of bad at English, I was talking to Mehdi the other day.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
Mehdi.
Hello, Mehdi.
He watches, so he was saying he likes to watch. He really
understand me.
struggles to follow what we're saying
All of
sometimes.
us.
All right.
Because no, but especially you. He saw the the New Year's thing we did.
Yes.
You sent us a message after us going, I understood Scott in that one because you were like really
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
it's
slow.
articulate.
Your RP was on point.
Thank you.
when
But
did
you know,
that.
us three effectively Geordie lads talking quite quickly. He was like, I can't understand what you're saying sometimes, and I can't understand
Put
Scott at all.
subtitles on. Oh, well, the subtitles
So-
seem to be able to get one.
So, Mehdi, I hope you've understood this one.
You can put subtitles on YouTube. It does it automatically. But
Right.
with you speaking the way you do,
Yeah.
it
I'd
could be,
love to see
could
what
be
it came
anything.
out with, what the
We'll have
closed
to have a look,
captions
aye.
are.
It could be absolutely anything. Yeah.
It's just three Geordie lads talking, that's the problem. Because you end up talking about something.
Yeah.
And I can only hear it in my voice now, we talk really quickly.
Yeah.
You don't notice?
I think your RP is the best out of the three of us. Let's be honest. Like people can understand you without
Because he lives in Gosforth.
technically,
North Gosforth, if anyone's asking.
but I'm kind of in the middle. When I'm with you, I feel like
Even I struggle with Scott
my
sometimes.
my accent does become more apparent when I'm talking to you. I think
Right.
I try and
We struggle. Mehdi's Dutch. How do you think he feels?
Sorry, Mehdi. Sorry.
should we learn some Dutch for
Should we
next
learn some
time?
Dutch?
That would
Yeah.
be cool, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do the next one in Dutch so he understands it.
Yeah.
God, that would be an absolute shit show, wouldn't
Like
it?
I thought Soph was quite hard to understand. Hi Soph.
I think easiest to understand would be me.
Yeah.
Then you. Then
Soph,
Soph.
then
Then Scott.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of it.
starting your sentence with here.
Here and saying proper lush and stuff like that. It's like people go, what the fuck's he saying?
Aye. It's pretty funny. Because I think
I don't mind.
I think you say Geordie words, but your RP is like very English.
I sound like someone else who's
You sound like
pretend to be Geordie.
You sound like Sting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like wait.
I'll take that.
He's obviously from the northeast, but he speaks properly. Do you know what I mean? Where's your Brian Johnson? You're like, wait, Pet now, it's Leighton. And I'm like somewhere in the middle. I'm like Jimmy Nail.
Who's arguably
Aye.
more successful, Sting or Brian Johnson? Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Probably by wealth, I'd say Sting.
Yeah.
Probably.
But
But Brian Johnson's the absolute lad. So he's great.
He's an
I
absolute lad.
think size of audience, probably Brian Johnson.
But is that because he's in AC/DC?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
If the Police reunited, can you imagine?
Oh, even I would go and see the Police if they were united.
Stuart
Yeah.
Copeland is one of the best drummers.
He is one of the best drummers ever.
I really love
Wow.
Andy
He is a
Summers.
bit mental.
Oh, he is mad.
He's
Do you know he does all the
batshit
the
crazy.
songs and soundtracks and stuff like Sonic and games and stuff like that?
What, drumming?
Yeah, yeah. No, he does
plays
like
every- he
soundtrack.
literally does everything,
He does
doesn't he?
everything. Stuart Copeland, yeah.
Right.
He's a
The
very
studio's
talented man.
really cool as well. Have you seen
It's
it?
mental.
It's like you stand in the studio no matter where you are, and you can go to different stations. There's percussion, there's drums, there's guitars. There's
You know those people
wheeled
who
instruments and
like
stuff?
being hands-on and like people say, oh, I like in the studio just be able to reach and grab something. No
Yeah.
matter where you stand in his studio, there's something to grab.
Wow.
Whether it be a drum or a piano or a brass instrument or a shaker or something, you can grab anything. It's a great studio.
Have
like.
you seen Jacob Collier's studio?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Jacob Collier is?
Nah.
Right, that's something we need to show you after this.
Jesus.
So good.
Is he a YouTuber like, or is he?
No, he's a full-on artist. He
All
started off doing YouTube, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah,
What,
and
what,
then
would I know any of his stuff?
If you saw him, you'd know him straight
All right.
away. He's got like perfect pitch, and he gets his audience to sing
he gets audience do harmonies and stuff.
harmonies and stuff.
I
We'll
don't
show
know
you
if
some
that's
stuff.
Actually,
Actually,
after.
it's
it's a funny crossover because he's done a cover of every little thing she does is magic.
Which we've also covered on our
We'll have
channel if you want to check that
check
out.
it out. And he's with a full orchestra. It was for BBC, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yes, it was.
It's so good,
Right.
so good. But
I liked Stuart
Yeah.
Copeland's documentary he did, the drum one. Have you
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was on BBC a few years ago.
I've seen
Who's
that.
the other member of the police?
Andy Summers.
That's it.
Andy
He's great.
Summers.
Really good
They're just
player.
the best musicians they had to put together at that time, weren't they?
They are really good.
Yeah, but ironically, I think the person who's most famous in the band is possibly the least best musician.
I know
What,
what you mean.
Sting?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think it's just because he was the songwriter,
Yeah,
wasn't
he's
it?
a songwriter.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, we learnt in college about...
And he's a Geordie, so he's immediately the best.
Yes, but in college we learnt about how Every Breath You Take is at the time was the 7th most successful song in the world, because there was this documentary about it, and Andy Summers is really bitter because for those of you who don't know, when you write a song, unless you wrote the melody or the lyrics, you didn't write any of the song. And Andy Summers is really pissed about it because that iconic
He got
riff...
no publishing rights.
No. That riff, he wrote the riff.
Did he?
But because it's not the music or the lyrics, Sting stung him, basically, and said, well, I wrote the song.
Stings.
So if you ever look at the credits, it's just Sting's name on
just
that
Sting.
song. So there's that.
Why he's very
That-
wealthy.
Well,
That's
yes.
a bit twattish of him, isn't it?
Well, again, you know, I don't want to cut my nose off to spite my face because I'd love to. I really like the music, but I've heard way too many bad stories about him, and it's quite upsetting, I'd say. You know, when you learn about one of the people who you really idolize is like.
I would
you
still like
know.
to meet him.
But I'd be scared.
It could
too 'cause
spoil it.
It could spoil
Yeah.
it, yeah. But I mean, we'll talk about this another time. I've got a few stories of people I know who have met him because obviously, you know, Northeast music scene, as we've very well established, is very incestuous. Everyone knows everybody, and
It doesn't mean we'll sleep around with everyone, by the way.
no, we just mean that everybody knows everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought you knew Ben Tate. You know,
Yes.
Well, he does know
Um,
Ben Tate.
he does know a
Just
Ben
not
Tate.
I
the
know
same.
A Ben Tate, yes.
But there's plenty of stories about him, which we'll disclose another time. But I see what you mean. I think it would, you know, they say no, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I think he's someone that I probably would be all right for meeting, just because I'd be scared in case he just insulted us, which
Yeah.
is something that apparently he's known for. So,
Or you said hi and then he just blanked you and just...
well,
thing.
have I told you about that story?
No.
I'll tell you later.
Right.
But yeah, that's a similar story.
Right.
That's kind
Well,
of
we'll have to do a segment at some point on our next episode where we're just...
fuck you, Sting.
Fuck Sting, yeah. So like to meet you though.
Yeah, if you want to come on,
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
could you imagine?
Fields of Gold.
Yeah. I'll
We'll
tell you
cover
this.
that.
I'll tell you this one story, and then I had another question, but do you know what? We'll
Yeah,
sack-
we'll end on this
We'll sack it off. I'll tell you this little story, and then we'll probably stop there. So, at college, Sting came in. This wasn't when I was there. This was probably about 10 years before I went to college. But they were telling us this story about how Sting came in to do a talk and played, and my guitar teacher Steve. Hi, Steve. Played with him. Who we're doing the show reel for?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely bloke.
Yeah, Steve's meant. But he got up and played with him. Anyway, but apparently when they were sound checking, the sound engineer said to Sting, jokingly,
That could have been the first mistake then.
jokingly said, because for those of you who don't know, there's two types of pickups. There's active or passive. Active is where they're powered by a battery or a power supply, and it's traditionally more of a heavier style of playing.
Well, yeah,
Should we
yeah.
just to make it simple?
If you know, you know. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. So sound engineer said, "Oh, mate, Sting, is your bass active or passive?" And Sting went, "Dunno, I haven't plugged it in 50 years. Everyone else does it for us." And it was just like, "Oh, okay, right." Completely rinsed by Sting there. So I mean, it's quite funny, but yeah, I wouldn't like to be the sound engineer after that.
No.
I imagine it was his Fender bass that he's had for years.
Yes.
That's all relic. That's definitely passive.
Yes.
Exactly. It's
How doesn't he know
it's
that?
obvious, isn't it?
I think he was joking. Is like trying to
Sting was
have
joking
banter
as
with
well,
him.
right?
Like
But
he was trying to have banter with Sting, and Sting was like,
But
"Well,
maybe
fuck
Sting's not for banter.
you." No,
He's a professional musician.
he
He
is.
seems quite sort of, let's just do it. Let's get it done. Not for messing around, not for joking around. Just
no.
go do it, leave.
I can't wait for Sting's lawyers to come out with after hearing this podcast.
Sorry about Geordie lads.
We get Geordie immunity.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can't
so we're allowed.
You can't sue
We're
another
allowed.
Geordie.
That's true.
It's the way it is.
That's the Geordie law.
Yeah. Just to point out as well, it's definitely not liable. Although it's liable if it's in print, isn't it? It's actually.
Why am I having this conversation?
No, I'm just pointing out that everything I said is factual. It's not like I'm
Yes,
like,
it is.
making claims or whatever.
Exactly.
Just to cover myself in a few years when we get the police on. Hey, wait, right, okay. On that note, I didn't mean for that.
That was good.
Oh, right. On that note, I think we'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the Lime Tree Sessions podcast with me, Jack Milcrease.
Then the fellas go.
And Scott Charlton.
We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.